Shocking what happened.
On that note, do we need the expansion for more balance in the league?
Uh, that's a tough thing for me, man. I see both.
Or we need to let that sizzle and touch on that on the next one.
You know the problem with that though, both of the teams demographically would be on the West. The if you
Whether it's Vegas or Seattle.
you feel me? If it's Vegas or Seattle, they'd be in the West. So you still be in trouble because both. So how are you going to mix that up? Because you can't be like the Lakers are in the West, but Vegas is in the East, but they're a sharing state. That doesn't make any sense.
Remember, the Grizzlies will go to the East, so then it would be,
They said either
even.
Yeah,
Memphis or Minnesota.
you have to mix that kind of stuff up. Otherwise, your two expansion teams, they're both on the West Coast. So what are we doing?
So then you got to move two teams, which is probably going to be Minnesota and Memphis.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, yeah.
So you put Ja Morant and Ant-Man in the East, even though I don't know how much longer Ja can be in Memphis, but I mean, it's a shot in the dark. But something got to.
Actually, wouldn't you put New Orleans in the East too, right?
Yeah, with New Orleans would have to
Possibly,
go
yeah.
to the East, and Memphis would have to go to the East, and then they would add two teams to the West.
Yeah, they'd have to do that. Yeah,
So that wouldn't change anything, though. I mean,
because both teams ain't good enough to win in the West.
yeah, like we just said, we only got three good teams. We got three contending teams in the damn whole NBA for the most part. So that means there's 30 teams that's not 29 teams that is not. I don't know. I don't think you should add two more teams if we already got 28 trash ones, or not trash, but we got like 14 trash teams.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think you should add more teams, bro. But obviously they're trying to add more revenue.
Yeah,
And if you're gonna add more teams, it's one of our other topics, but we can combine the 2.
Mhm.
If you're gonna add more teams, shorten the season, man, because you just get to the playoffs. Because only a certain amount of teams can make the playoffs, and the playoff format needs to be changed now anyway. Because look, once again, the East is incompetent. So what's the point of all the Western Conference teams beating up on each other just to play against a sorry ass team on the East? That we're not getting the real champion. We'll get the real champion if the first round was OKC versus damn San Antonio, and the Lakers versus the Nuggets, and then the Timberwolves versus the Rockets. Like that should be the first rounds, and then we'll get the real champions.
I know how to make it work. I know how to make it work. Real talk. Other than just having an old school giant redraft, which they're not going to do, here's how you make this work. And this is factual. This is how you make this work. First things first, you got to do. I don't want to hear there's not enough good players to add two more teams. Yes, there is. The problem is if you look at the roster, a lot of these fools play on the same team. I'm not being foul. They really do. Like, look at the Lakers. They have 3 players who are number 1 options on some of the weaker teams we're talking about. Not being funny, look at the OKC. They legitimately have 3 options who can play somewhere else. Like, it's the truth. Even looking at the 76ers, they have Maxey, they got
one.
No, what I'm saying is, if you look at them as a whole,
I know what you're saying.
I'm talking about just on paper. On paper, you've got 3 guys who legitimately can average, who at some point can put up 30 points a game or can be a number 1 option. Paul George did it before. Maxey's doing it now, and B's doing it, and now VJ is coming out like he's crazy. What I'm saying is you have the talent. The problem is they're all playing together. Like they're all going, let's all 3. I think we need to fix that by, if you're going to expand it, then we need to do something where we need to fix the salary cap to go where you can't afford 3 guys anymore. You can't, it's not possible. And you make these dudes going back to the old school, which they don't have the heart to, and go beat these fools. Your salary cap does not say you can get LeBron, D-Wade. I don't care if you take less money. It's not possible. You cannot fill out your roster because you don't have the revenue. If they went back to that, now imagine the league going, okay, these 3 dudes who are on the West, now you got to separate and go make your own team. Now you don't get that chance. You don't get to go, oh, let's put Dame together with, no, let's not do that. You know who the number 1 are on their team. There's no reason why some of these teams have 3 number 1s, dog. Like, come on. Like, Even 2 number ones absurd. Back in the Boast era of basketball, you had a number one and you had to build around that dude, and that was it. Kobe had some of the most egregious rosters ever, and if you were that dude, you took your team to where you went to go. So I would love to see the league, if you're going to add these 2 teams, number one, you got to stop the whole, well, let's tank to get better crap, because that's all they're going to do. You're just going to put a bunch of, remember when Charlotte first came out, they put a bunch of, wait, who was it that was joking on Gil's Arena? I don't like talking about, he was like, you just sent a bunch of weak niggas to a team. It was like, y'all going to be good down there, figure it out.
Well, I think it was Nick Young probably talking about the Wizards.
If we stop that crap, bro, and go, you guys can't have 3 number ones on the team. You can't have 2 number ones on the team. If you separate the talent effectively, you're not going to have this problem. Like, look at the Knicks. We're not being disrespectful. They're not our number ones, but you legitimately have Cat, you have Jalen Brunson, and you have Mikal on one team. At some point, they all were on a different team where they were number one options, and now you put them all together, and they're not even succeeding anyway. So go make these fools beat each other and stop letting them team up and go, I'll take $20 million less just to be your sidekick. If that's what you're going to do, then you don't need to be in the NBA because you're not a dog. Kill that.
I totally agree with that. That's the best solution right there. Not that they'll ever do it like you said, but that would be the best solution, and that would. The NBA used to be somewhat like that, like a beginning of Jordan's career, Kobe after Shaq, like you said. But you know, the NBA also got their weird shit that they've always done though, because they be cheating.
Yeah.
Like when Magic and Kareem got on the same team, you know, that was all orchestrated. And then, you know, Patrick Ewing had the frozen joint that they grabbed. They knew the Knicks had the number 1 pick, so they grabbed the frozen tile or whatever. So I'm just saying they just finagle it to still put 2 guys together or whatever the fuck they're gonna do. But I agree with you, because the league is gonna have to make changes eventually, because the shit is not going upward as far as entertainment value and watchability is concerned. So they're gonna have to do different things. And that would be the best thing, is change up the salary caps. But you know, they got the players union also, so the players is not going to agree to do that. And this niggas is not enough. There's not enough dogs in the league that'll agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Like Wemby would want to do that. Ant-Man, I could see him doing that. But outside of them, like in Kawhi and them, because the Kawhi been already showed he did it already. He's the blueprint. SGA's doing it. You know, he's doing it as the main guy. Yeah. So I would love to see that. That was a great solution.
With the salary cap thing, last point, here's why I think it'll fly. You ready? We're not changing the amount of money they could make. We're spreading out the way the team can spend it. We're not saying you can't make, no one's losing their TV money. What we're saying is you can't pay Jaylen Brown $300 million and pay Jason Tatum $300 million. If you're going to make your $300 million, but that $300 million is going to be equivalent like they do. If you make your first team all that kind of crap. If you can't pay 2 superstars $700 million, that's going to fix that. We're not telling Jaylen Brown you can't get your 300. What we're saying is your team's salary cap and their money revenue dictates you guys can pay $500 million. We're not knocking your money. If Jaylen wants his $330 million, that's cool. Well, then we have these teams with the 330, take your trade, or you can stay here, but you both can't be number 1 options because you can't both make first team all NBA, so your money's not coming. We're not taking their money. It's just the way you're going to have to get it by how you play. That's all I'm saying. You're going to get paid, but you can't $100 million, $300 million for 3 players. That's absurd, bro. Remember when the Thunder signed their players? We were like, bro, where the fuck are you getting this money from? Oh, we'll go over the luxury cap, $390 million every year. That's messing up the balance of the league. That's what the Warriors did. We'll keep them together and we'll go on a luxury tax, $400 million. Kill the $400 million luxury tax and go, that's not an option for you. It's $100 million, so make your decisions. And they'll be forced to choose between that number 1 player, and that's what it is.
And just like with Giannis now, like imagine if Giannis, if he's asking to leave and they would be like, you can leave, but you got to go to another team and go a straight up 1-for-1 deal, and you don't get to team up with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever superstar team you're going to, that superstar got to go to the other thing. That's all they have to do is do that. You know, just like they cancel the Chris Paul trade, they can cancel all of this shit and stop doing this team up shit, you know.
Exactly. Going, well, your contract's $400 million, his contract's $300 million. You guys can't play together because it's out of the cap.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And that'll stop a lot of that crap going, I'm gonna go play with Steph. No, you're not. Steph makes 330. You make 360. We can't make that deal. It's either player for player or y'all better go find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, it's like Phil Jackson and Pat Riley in their primes as coaches. They would not want to. Neither of them is gonna be the assistant to the other guy. It's like, bro, I'm getting my team, you got your team, and we're gonna meet in the finals.
Factual.
But yeah, and the players, they don't got that type of heart, though, you know. But I would love.
You heard this shit first on goddamn Eyeball Network, nigga.
Oh God, the only place you gonna hear it.
We got solutions over here, man.